I'm gonna show you how to make the top of a travel tumbler. These are by far the best seller on my website and honestly so fun to use and have. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get a little slab of clay for the lid. Now I recommend doing this right before you start trimming your cup. I'm gonna flatten this out. If you want it to be particular, you could use wood dowels or a slab roller to get it perfectly even, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. Then there's two ways you can do this next part. You're gonna take your cup and you can lay it like this and take a needle tool or a cutting tool and cut around. Or what I like to do is take a set of cookie cutters, these are all circles, and I find which one fits my travel tumbler best. And it's better to have a little bigger than not big enough. So this is the one I'm gonna use. I cut it out like this, and then I'll leave this to get leather hard and we'll come back to her later. While we're letting the lid dry, we'll trim the travel tumbler. So first I wet the rim, and then I move it in a circle to get it connected to the wheel, and then I use the lines to line up the piece to make sure it's centered. And then I don't always do this, but when I'm working with a taller piece, I do add lugs of clay to stabilize it. I usually do about 3. I love this trimming tool. It's not necessary, but I like to put it on top so that I can hold pressure and then my fingers don't have to move while the piece is spinning. I have these linked in my Amazon storefront. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is just round off the sides here. I like a nice rounded bottom. And then to smooth it all out, I use a metal rib tool. I curve it to match the curve of my cup. And then I just press it, but also make sure you're pressing downwards so that it doesn't fly off. And there we have it. Now I'll just do a shallow foot to make sure that the cup sits evenly and I have a nice circular place for my stamp. And then I'll smooth it all out with a sponge before I go ahead and add my maker's mark. I'll take it off the wheel, sponge off the rim, and now it's ready to add the lid. Now that we have our trimmed mug and the lid has set for about an hour, it's time to finish the lid. The first thing I'm gonna do is take a flat edge like this and cut it in half. Now we're ready to attach this, which is leather hard, to this. Figure out where you want it, and then you're gonna take a scoring tool and score on top of the rim where you're going to attach the lid. You're gonna do the same thing on the bottom of the lid. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Now apply a generous amount of slip all the way around the top. This is going to act as your glue. Then take the lid, set it on top, and then you're going to blend in the sides like this with a swiping down motion. That's why we like it to be a little bit bigger than the piece itself. Next, I like to take a damp sponge and smooth all of this out and make sure the top is fully blended into the piece, and also take away any excess slip. Now it's time to cut the top. Now for this, you can either use a razor tool like this and cut it out, or you can use a stencil, or you can use a cookie cutter like this. I have this little oval that I've kind of warped into the correct shape for a sippy cup lid. So I'm gonna place that and then push straight down. Once I take that out, I like to take the edge of the scoring tool and just smooth everything out on the inside, and then also use the sponge to clean up the top of it. Now I'll cover this in plastic and let it dry very slowly to avoid cracking. But that's how you make a travel tumbler. If you want more pottery tutorials, make sure you're subscribed to the channel.